Hi everyone. One of my favorite desserts, or treats, whatever you want to call it, when I was a little girl was a braided apple bread that we would make. Now I haven't had it since I was a child and I don't have the recipe, but I've been trying to recreate it and I thought I'd share that with you today. And it's very similar to an apple pie filling that's inside a loaf of bread that's been braided together. So I've started with 5 apples that I've peeled and sliced. You don't want them too thick. And then I'm going to add half a cup of sugar. And then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Just going to give that a bit of a stir together. Now, I don't remember pre-baking the apples when we were kids, but it seems to help with the cooking time. So I'm going to pour these into a pan, and I'm going to bake them at 350 for about 10 to 15 minutes to partially cook them. And while my apples are cooking, I'm going to start rolling out my bread dough. I'm using the dinner roll recipe that I posted just the other day, but you can use any bread recipe that you like. You could also use my basic white bread recipe and just divide it to make one loaf, or just set one serving aside when you're making it and make some loaves of bread and then save some aside for the apple bread. Anyway, I've put this down on a floured counter, and now I'm just going to start rolling the dough out. I'm going to just slide a bit more flour underneath there because I don't want it to start sticking. Flip it over. Okay, I have rolled and patted this into a basic square shape. It's kind of hard to get it perfect because it's trying to rise as you're working with it, but just do the best that you can. And now I'm going to start cutting slits in the sides to form the braids after I put the apple. You want to try to match up the lines on each side as best you can. Right about now, I'm wondering if hubby's pizza cutter would work. Let's see. Oh, good. That works great. Okay, guys, use your pizza cutter if you've got one. That works really nice. See? Everyone learns something new every day, right? Okay, now I'm going to take my apples that have started cooking. I'm going to spoon them into the middle of this. Maybe I made too many apples. I'm going to fold the ends up, if you can see that, and I'm going to bring each side over, pinch it down, I hope this tastes as good as what I remember. Anyone else ever had things made for them when they were little and haven't had it since and tried to recreate it? Let's just tuck that in underneath there. Pinch the ends closed a little bit. Then I'm just going to grease a cookie sheet. Now let's see if I can lift this over onto here without spilling everything. Oh, wish me luck. Uh-oh. Yay! Success. Okay, I'm just going to pop my bread into the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. Well, my apple braid is done, and boy, does it ever look good. Don't know if it'll taste quite the same as what I remember, but it looks pretty good. So now I'm just going to transfer this over to a wire rack to cool down, and then I'm going to brush the tops with some butter. You could probably also put an icing sugar glaze over this if you want. Be kind of like a Danish or something, something similar to that. I think this should be sweet enough on its own, considering there's sugar in the bread and then lots of sugar and cinnamon in the apple mixture. But you know, depending on what taste you're looking for. Hey, you could probably even do a caramel sauce or something if you wanted. Lots of ideas. Yeah, I finished coating the top with butter, and I'm just going to let it cool down until I slice into it. That's really hard to do because it smells so good, but I think the apples will be awful hot inside, and I want it to be easier to cut. So if you make this, I'd love to hear what you think, and if you change anything, if you add different spices, or maybe you try putting caramel sauce or an icing on top or anything like that, just let me know what you think, and I'm going to try making this in a few different ways until I find one that is just like what I remember. Well, the bread hasn't quite finished cooling down, but I can't wait any longer. I really just have to try this. See what we've got. It's not too bad. The end piece is a lot of bread and not as much of the filling. Let's see what we got a little bit of. That looks yummy. Now I will say the one I remember having as a kid had a whole lot more apples than that, and not quite as much bread. So I'm going to have to take some playing around with it, but I think it's still going to be good. That's good. I really do like that. Not quite the same as I remember from when I was a kid. I'll keep playing with it, but boy, it's good. I'll definitely be making this again. Take care, everyone.